Imagine standing before a massive, silent crowd. You have been speaking continuously for 3 hours, weaving a complex web of legal arguments and political philosophy. You have no teleprompter, no smartphone hidden in your robe, and not even the smallest scrap of paper to guide you. Every single word, every precise inflection, and every devastating logical trap must be delivered flawlessly, or you risk the total collapse of your career and your reputation. In our modern digital age, most of us struggle to remember a simple 6-digit Wi-Fi password or the birthday of a close friend. Therefore, we are collectively convinced that memorizing such a colossal, non-human volume of exact information is physically impossible for an ordinary person. We naively assume that to perform such a feat, you must be born with a rare genetic mutation or a photographic memory. But historical reality proves that this is a total misconception. Over 2,000 years ago, the greatest political orator of ancient Rome, Marcus Tullius Cicero, delivered staggeringly complex speeches lasting for hours without ever missing a single syllable. His secret was not innate genius or a lucky biological gift. Instead, he mastered a hidden biological mechanism that is operating inside your own brain right at this moment. He never tried to mechanically memorize text through rote repetition. Instead, he used a sophisticated system of spatial architecture and shocking visual imagery to hack the data storage networks of his mind. This neurobiological system is so powerful that when modern scientists finally tested it in high-tech laboratories, they were stunned by the results. Our brains were evolutionarily designed to be the ultimate memory machines, but the modern digital world has made us completely lose the instruction manual for our own intelligence. To truly comprehend how the Romans mastered human memory, we must first understand our most fundamental modern mistake. Today, when we need to remember a complex technical document or dry historical facts, we default to rote memorization. We monotonously read the same lines over and over, trying to forcefully hammer abstract data into our overwhelmed and distracted brains. Therefore, we forget almost everything within 48 hours. The biological truth is that the human brain was never evolutionarily designed to store boring abstract symbols, dry statistics, or static black text on a white page. In prehistoric times, your physical survival never depended on your ability to quote a sentence word for word. However, the survival of your tribe depended entirely on how accurately you could remember the spatial map of your environment. You had to know exactly where the only clean water source was, how to recognize the hidden path back to the shelter, and exactly where the predators were known to hunt. Therefore, human spatial memory and visual perception are perfected to an absolute biological extreme. Cicero and the great ancient orators understood this inherent biological feature intuitively. They never tried to fight against their own nature. Instead, they made a brilliant decision to turn boring, abstract words into the one thing the brain absolutely loves and never forgets: three-dimensional architecture and vivid imagery. They created a mental concept that we now call the memory palace. They took abstract political ideas and bound them permanently to physical locations in their imagination. This is not just a poetic metaphor. It is a proven physiological process that forces your neurons to create the strongest possible synaptic connections. Let's break down this ancient process so you can see its incredible efficiency in practice. Close your eyes and imagine a physical building that you know intimately, like your own home. Open the front door and step inside. If you need to memorize a crucial economic argument, you do not try to remember the dry words. Instead, you transform that argument into a bizarre, shocking visual image and place it right in the center of your hallway. But here is the most important secret of the Roman masters. If you just imagine a boring book or a normal object, your brain will immediately delete it as useless background noise. The human brain only remembers what causes primal shock, intense surprise, or a strong emotional reaction. Therefore, Roman orators intentionally populated their mental palaces with the most absurd and striking figures. To keep your reconstruction consistent and professional, imagine a featureless white mannequin standing in your hallway. This mannequin is not a person, but a symbolic placeholder. Imagine this white mannequin is frozen in a violent struggle with a golden serpent, with coins spilling from its mouth. You will never forget this strange, supernatural image as long as you live. That stark white mannequin permanently symbolizes your first argument about the corruption of the state treasury. You then walk into the next familiar room and place another white mannequin. Perhaps this one is holding a shattered clock to represent a wasted opportunity. You build a strict 3D sequence where every specific room holds its own high-definition information hologram. When it is time to speak, you are not reciting a script. You are simply taking a slow mental walk through your own house and describing what you see. Because of this phenomenal and reliable method, Cicero could stand before the Roman Senate for hours, flawlessly transitioning from one complex state argument to another without a single stumble. He wasn't reciting a script. He was simply moving from one mental room to another, reading the information from the strange objects he had placed there earlier. But modern neurobiology has gone even further to prove this isn't just an ancient trick for the elite. Recently, leading researchers conducted a groundbreaking experiment with a control group of ordinary people whose memories were entirely average. They placed these people inside high-definition MRI scanners to monitor their brain activity. They taught these participants the ancient memory palace technique and gave them just a few short weeks to practice at home. The results of this study completely changed our understanding of cognitive science. After just 40 days of training, these ordinary people began demonstrating recall results that were fully comparable to world-class memory champions. They could perfectly memorize endless lists of random words and complex numerical sequences. But the most shocking revelation happened deep inside their physical brains. The MRI scans proved that their neural pathways had physically rewired. Their brains literally started using the ancient spatial navigation networks, the parts of the brain that have managed physical movement for millions of years, to store abstract textual data. Science proved that we do not have bad memories. We just have a catastrophic, school-taught method of using our own biological supercomputers. We have spent decades trying to hammer nails with a microscope, and then we are surprised when the results are disappointing. This ancient technique forces us to confront a cold and painful truth about our modern technological society. Today, we have voluntarily surrendered the greatest cognitive power of our human minds to digital outsourcing. We blindly trust our precious memories to smartphones, cloud storage, and search engines. Therefore, we have become mentally fragile and dependent. We genuinely believe we no longer need to hold information in our own heads, because every historical fact is just a swipe away. But our memory is not just a passive hard drive for storing facts. It is the fundamental foundation of our unique intelligence, our creative flexibility, and our ability to make rapid, complex life decisions. When you consciously use the memory palace method, you are not just memorizing. You are violently training your spatial imagination and building massive new neural highways in your cortex. You are learning to see hidden connections between unrelated concepts. Cicero became a legendary leader not just because he had a loud voice, but because his mind was a disciplined, infinite, and structured library to which he had absolute, instant access in every critical second. We have traded this incredible biological potential for the cheap convenience of a digital crutch. We have forgotten how to walk through the majestic halls of our own minds. But the underlying architecture of your brain has not disappeared, and those powerful ancient mechanisms are still waiting for you to reactivate them. Cicero's 2,000-year-old instruction manual still works flawlessly today. The only question is, are you ready to take back control of your own mind, or will you continue to trust your intelligence to a piece of plastic in your pocket?